And while I'm talking about lazy, guys, how many of y'all can walk up to your house after working around the barn, after walking around feeding all your animals, and you have a duck waiting to be hand fed from your porch? From your porch. Yeah, that'd be us. That'd be our Pablo. And that right there. Oh, Lola wants to hang out with Pablo. She goes, Daddy, let me come to the porch. Oh. Come on, Pablo, let's find something to eat. Let's find something to eat, Pablo. Come on. Babe, we got anything for Pablo?
Listen, Pablo doesn't want food. He wants to come in.
He doesn't want to eat. He just wants to come in and sit in the AC. Hey, Pablo.
This is part of his day now.
Hey, Pablo. Aww. There you go. Today I've taken and I've thrown out a couple of what they call flakes of hay. So you know that we normally feed our Moo. Look at that. I gave him his own flake, and I know the word flake is a little bit deceiving. It can kind of, you don't understand because you picture a flake like a snowflake. But when you buy a square bale of hay, so this is a square bale of hay. It's kind of a rectangular shape actually, but they come already kind of like put together in these what they call flakes, and each flake should be about a serving. So therefore, you can buy a square bale of hay, and if you decide to feed it twice a day, and you kind of need to, this is the roughage that cows need during this time of year. The roughage is like a part, it's the supplement for grass. Now, of course, hay is dried grass, so it's not going to have the same nutrition. Look at Santana. Santana, be a lady. You know where she's got those eating habits from, right? You know where she's got those eating habits from. That guy right over there. Now, he already has a roll of hay. So since Tex does not leave that pasture, and for a good reason, those are the good reasons right there. There's 6 good reasons why Tex does not leave his pasture. There's heifer 1, heifer 2, heifer 3, heifer 4, heifer 5, and Moses. And those are the 6 reasons why Tex has to stay right there in that little pasture. Oh, he doesn't like it though. So I know with the angle of the sun, it's a little bit hard to see, but we give Tex rolls of hay. And we do have plenty of rolls of hay that we'll eventually begin to put out for all of these guys. But listen, there's still green grass. Here we are in November, and we're in the early parts of November, but there's still plenty of green grass. But what I want to show you today is how lazy, I don't mean to be mean, I want to show you how lazy these babies have gotten. So let me take a quick peek at Tex and let y'all say hi. Oh, Tex, I can't help but feel so sorry for you. But I want to walk down to the back. Okay, this is not a video about Tex. I'm sure y'all are probably sick and tired of Tex videos. But I do want to walk down and show you how lazy these cows are being. And when I say lazy, what I mean is they're hanging out here all day. And guys, that's a very bad habit. You don't need your cows or your horses to hang out here all day. And the only reason they're doing that is because they know that if they hang out long enough, Dad's going to walk out and give them something to eat because he feels bad for them. But that's what they begin to do. So I want to walk down and show you the back pasture. All right, so the horses, believe it or not, the horses are a little bit smarter than the cows. And for good reason. Listen, they have more nutritional needs than what the cows do. If you don't already know this, a horse will eat about double what a cow does per day. Yeah, isn't that surprising? Who would have thought that these horses would need so much more than the cows. And so what I want to show you back here is the things that cows have access to, but because they've gotten lazy, they've chosen to sit there around the barn and wait for me to feed them. All right, so as you can see, there's still a lot of green going down through there. The tops of some of this grass have kind of turned brown, but that's not because of a frost. That's just because of it's the fall weather. And some of this grass it grows in the summer, in the spring, but not in the fall. But what I want to show you is coming up. All right, so I'm trying to fight the glares from the sun, but what I've come over here to show you are these green, thorny type bushes and shrubs and weeds, maybe, that these longhorns thrive on. They do, they thrive on them. Goats and longhorns, guys, they're known for their ability to sustain themselves on the most weedy type plants. And that's exactly why longhorns are conditioned to living here in Texas, where we have some really extreme temperatures and some drought type conditions. And so Texas longhorns can live places where other beefy cows can't. I'm going to stop here and show you, but you have those type of foliage all over through here, all along this green tree line. Over here under these pine trees, I don't know why it's exceptionally thick. And then you can just see my finger as I scan across at all the green stuff. But that requires work. And whereas the horses don't mind coming off and putting in a little bit of work, the cows don't want to. They've gotten so lazy. What we've done is we've come by over here and we used the bush hog or the brush hog to cut down a whole lot of the tops of this grass, which leaves us the green stuff underneath it. We thought that would make it a little bit easier for the cows and horses to find what they wanted and not have to eat the dry, dead stuff. Well, the horses have said, you know what, thanks, Dad. That was a really nice thing that you did. But the cows refused to work. They're like, you know what, we're not. We're gonna wait right here and take our hay, take our corn in the mornings, and in the afternoon, yeah, Dad will come by and give us some good grains. And so I really don't know how to break that habit. So what I thought I was gonna do, this is gonna sound mean, is I think I may start walking them back here every day and then closing the gate, and which will deny them access to the barn area. Seriously, that sounds mean, but there is just too much good stuff to eat over here. Whereas I can keep and hold on to my hay as long as I can. And that's what most people do. A lot of farmers and ranchers will not even start feeding hay until there's no more grass, until the grass has dried up and they have to. But my babies are being so lazy. Well, we're back. Here's all the lazies. Yes, I'm talking about you. You're making a real mess on your little girl's head. Oh my goodness. I like finding ways to tie real life into farm life. Life that you all know. Even if you don't have a farm. I'm gonna peek right here and see what the girls are doing. Well, Lola's up eating. Lola's looking for something to eat. And Petunia's conked out over there. I love the way they've been using their little pillows at night. Oh boy, she hears me. Hi, Beverly. Oh boy, I did not bring you food. Now, in case y'all are upset with me, look, I've already put corn out this morning. There's corn. What she has to do is come find it. Baby, there's corn. You have to do your job. Nobody wants to do their job. Nobody wants to do their job anymore. They just want to lay around and let Dad bring it to them. So Jamie and I are getting dressed. We're going to go do something fun today. Guys, so let me tell you real fast about the world and how, even though I can joke about my animals being a little bit lazy, because they are. The pigs are lazy, the cows are lazy. I'm a Jeans being lazy, and Peggy Pig's being lazy. Beverly's being lazy. Guys, have you not noticed that the world is being lazy? Have you not noticed how lazy the world has become? Let me tell you a story. I'll tell you two stories. I'll tell you one that's school related, and I'll tell you another one that is directly related to the workforce, if you can even call them the workforce. The workforce is being lazy right now. People were... It's hard to talk about this because you don't exactly know what side of the political spectrum you're talking from. But with the pandemic and a lot of folks not working because they weren't able to because of the shutdown, and the government helping those families along until everything kind of resumed, until life got back to normal. Well, guys, even though the pandemic is still alive and well, work life has gotten back to normal. Places are open for business, yet employers can't find anyone to work. And I don't know exactly what the state or the government is still doing to help people along who are not working. Jamie, do you know? Are there still checks being written to folks who are not working?
I think that the extra incentives are gone, but there's still some type of...
So extra incentives are now gone, but there is still some type of government assistance. And listen, you don't know how many restaurants are still closed, or they closed in the middle of the day because they can't find anyone to work. We took the boys to the mall last night to play. There's a little fun place they like to play. And there were stores that were shut down, and the signs outside said closed due to employee shortage. We go by to get the kids McDonald's to eat. And Lex loves a little blue raspberry drinks from McDonald's, a little frozen drink. He has his very own addiction. For being a little kid, he has a horrible addiction to these little blue raspberry Fantas. That's all he thinks about. And you drive to the McDonald's, and they're like, at the drive-thru, like, sorry, we're closed. I'm like, well, why? And they say, we don't have enough employees. We don't have enough workers. And so that makes it hard. Oh my gosh, there's 2 hawks on the fence now. Y'all see them both? There's 1, there's 2. Guys, they wouldn't be here if they were not hunting. They wouldn't just be hanging out there watching text. Now that one got spooked. Now he's going to that power line. They're hunting, y'all. They're actually out hunting. They're not being lazy. They're doing their job. Just don't want them to eat any of our babies. Poor Tex. Look what he has to push around. Look what he does for entertainment. Look what my boy does for his entertainment. That's funny. Okay, well, let me tell you another story that is about being lazy. This story is about being lazy. I'm going to tie this one directly into the kids I used to teach. Now, I don't teach this year. Y'all know I'm not teaching this year at all. But in school. Now, in the old days, if you had a kid that was struggling, they would have a pull-out program where you could tell a pull-out teacher that, hey, I got this little guy or this little girl who's not doing real well, and she's really struggling. And can you take her and help her, find some kind of remediation, some kind of way to help her, get back on track and catch her up. And so they had teachers that they could, specially designed teachers who they could train to be a pull-out teacher. They'd take them to a different classroom, and they would give them some one-on-one, which is obviously the best way to help catch a kid up. And then that kid would come back to the classroom after their lesson, and you continue on. But, now here we go. Boy, as schools evolve and they try to find ways to help all kids, I guess, I don't exactly know why they did it this way. I really can't speak for the schools of why this started. But they begin to teach teachers how to have your kids work in groups. You take those kids and you assign them to a group, And you don't put them in groups of all the low kids with all the high kids and all the middle. No, you don't group them that way. That's not the way you group kids. Instead, you group them to where you have in each group, there are some kids that you know are high. I'll just say high. And some are, right there in the middle. And you may have one or two that's low. And they all work in a group together, right? And in doing so, the kids that are high will naturally help the kids that are struggling. But let me tell you what I observed as a teacher. Now, I was doing this for years. Come on, Tex. I did this for years. I did what I was told to do. I signed those groups, and your principals always want to know the names of your groups, and they want to know which kids are in each group, and they want to see all that kind of data. But what I began to notice is that the kids that were the low kids would end up not working because they knew that the high kids would do all the work for them. I don't think the low kids ever got any better. I hate to say low kids. I'm not trying to be mean. But the kids that were struggling, they never caught on and moved forward. Instead, they would continue to struggle every year and in every class because they knew that if they could just sit there and, I don't want to say play dumb. Guys, I'm not trying to be mean. But if they could sit there and let someone do the work for them, guess what? They would do that. And that became a habit in every teacher, in every meeting that we had about these, what they called differentiated instruction, in all these different groups. Guys, they would tell you it was the same thing in every year, the same thing they were seeing. What in the world? Look what I just did. I guess by me talking about being lazy, it's made Santana, Pearl, and Moo go to work. Good. It's about time. It is about time. Lazy. I would love to hear some of your stories about lazy. Now, I don't know if all those employees that used to work at McDonald's or used to work at the mall, if they're not working because they can make the same money staying at home and not have to expose themselves to people or the COVID stuff, or if they've just, I don't know, there may be other reasons. But I wonder if it's the same way in your part of the country or the world. Are you guys also finding that employers cannot find any employees? Are your businesses shutting down early or closing early or not even opened yet due to the lack of employees in the workforce? Oh, that's fun talk. Good stuff.